Hey guys, so in today's video I just wanted to break down the Ict Judas swing and also the Ict silver bullet trading strategy that I've been using over the past couple of months that have helped me generate a lot of good trades and also generate a lot of good profits, but also there's been wins and losses along the way as well. So the reason why I thought I would make this video today is because since yesterday I've had silver bullet trades, I've had Judas swing trades, and some of them have been losses, as we can see right here, and some of them have been winners, as we can see here, and also today's trade as well. So I thought I would break down both these trade setups so you guys can see exactly what it was that I was thinking whilst these setups were happening, and also it might give you an insight into maybe doing something new, trying to learn a new strategy, or just going with the flow. So first things first, let's kick things off with yesterday. So on Tuesday, we had this Ict Judas swing set up in the morning. So with the Judas swing, the first thing you want to do is identify your higher time frame bias. So for me, I was on the 15 minutes. And as we can see, before the Judas swing actually kicked into play, which is right here, we were in somewhat of a bearish market, right? So let's mark this out. So we've got our higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So now we're trading in between this trading range, right? So if we take this trading range right here, we can see that price has now broken below this range, which means that price has actually turned bearish. So we've gone from a higher high, higher low to failure to create a higher high, and now the creation of a lower low right here. So now we're anticipating a lower high before a continuation lower, right? Right, so our higher time frame bias is actually of sells, right? Therefore, as we come into the end of the Asian session, I was anticipating price to push up here before giving us sells to take price lower, right? Which, as we can see, did not happen. However, let me go down to the smaller time frame so you guys can see exactly what it was that I was thinking. So first things first, we've marked out our Asia highs and our Asia lows. So once we've marked that out, we're now waiting for a sweep of either the Asia highs or lows before looking for a market structure shift and a fair value gap for our entry, right? So in the first entry that I have right here, this is how I was looking at the market. So we've got our higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, failure to create another higher high before breaking this higher low, giving us a lower low right here. We're now anticipating a lower high into a fair value gap before taking price lower like this. Here, you can see this is exactly what we were looking at. So we've got a lower low, lower high, lower low, failure to create a lower high before a break down to this side, right? Signifying a market structure shift, coming back for an entry up here before taking price lower. So that's how I was anticipating and watching price, right? So if I remove all of this, we can now identify our fair value gap. And in this instance, the fair value gap was right here. So we've got a fair value gap here. And also we've got the order block right here too. So your entry could be at either one of those two areas, right? So my entry was right here, back up, coming into this order block right here. And then I was anticipating price to go lower. However, that did not happen. As you can see, price immediately took us out right there. And I thought, you know what, maybe I was just timing the market wrong. Maybe price needs to create another leg up before giving us a push down, right? So then when price came up here, created all of this sideways movement, I was now anticipating a break of this low. And I thought, if we get this low, I'm going to wait for price to come back up into this fair value gap before taking price lower. And I thought, if we get that, now that would be a solid trade because the risk to reward is crazy, right? A 1 to 7 risk to reward. You're going to make up for the loss that you've taken here. So as always, let's quickly mark it out. So we've got our higher low, higher high, And now we're trading in between this range. So anything in the middle is complex structure and we don't really care for it, right? So all we're simply waiting for is price to break below here, come back up into a fair value gap and take price lower. So if we play price forward, we can see that we did get that break right there. So we've got that break right there of this low, which means we've got the market structure shift. So now we've marked out our fair value gap right here, and now we're waiting for price to come back in, taps us in right there, and now we're anticipating that price will go down, but instead it takes us out again, right? So on days like this, I like to now simply just sit out the markets. I've had 2 losses, and instead of revenge trading and trying to go back into the markets to make my money back, which will end up me losing more money, I thought, you know what, I've had 2 losses. My daily limit for losses is 2. Once I take 2 losses, I simply walk away from the charts and I come back the next day. So I wasn't interested. I did also post this loss in my channel just so everyone knows that I did take this trade and it did end up being a loser. However, what I did do is later on I did go and anticipate and mark out this silver bullet trade right here. So I had this marked out and I did post this in my channel. I said I'm not going to be taking this trade, but I'm marking it out to see what happens. So this is a silver bullet trade. This isn't a Judas swing. This is a silver bullet trade, right? And how this works is we're basically anticipating that the move that happens at 2:30, which is the New York Stock Exchange Open, is going to give us some sort of volatility, which is going to violate some sort of market structure, which is going to give us an entry. So instead of me saying that, let me quickly break something down for you so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So on the 5 minute, what we're doing is we're marking out our most prominent high, which is right here, and our most prominent low, which was right here. All right. So we're marking both of these out. So let me mark them out for you right here. Let me move this out the way. That was just something I had marked up. Cool. So our most prominent high is up here and our most prominent low is down here, right? So what we're waiting for is, once we've marked that out, we're waiting for 1:30 to hit, which is in the UK time, the New York Stock Exchange Open, since the clocks have gone back 1 hour. So it's literally right here at 1:30, right there. After this time, up until 2:30, which is right here, we are looking for a market structure shift, right? So let's drop down to the 1 minute, and we're waiting for price to sweep either the high or the low before giving us a market structure shift, okay? So let's take a look at this here. We've got the push to the downside. So we've got our lower low, lower high, lower low. And now right here, we get a break of this lower high, giving us a higher high, right? And then we're anticipating price to come back into a fair value gap, giving us a higher low before taking price higher. So again, if I hide the chart, you'll see what I'm talking about. This is a bearish move to the downside, a lower low, lower high, lower low, and then we get a break of this lower high, giving us a higher high, which signifies a trend change, a market structure shift. So now the next anticipation for price is to give us a higher low, which is into a fair value gap where we take our entry for price to go higher. So that's how we're anticipating price. So let's bring the chart back in. And now let's take a look at what happens, right? So we've got the break of structure right here. We've got our market structure shift. We've identified our fair value gap, so we put that right there. So that's where our buy limit will go, with our entry at the opposite end. Sorry, our take profit at the opposite end, the opposing liquidity, and our stop loss right below this prominent low. Okay? So once we've done that, we're now simply waiting for price to give us an entry. And it goes about, comes back down, gives us an entry right there, and boom, immediately goes and hits take profit. So I did post this in my channel and I said I'm not going to be getting into it, but I'm marking it out to see, because as I mentioned, once I take 2 losses, I step away from the markets. So as much as I wanted to get into this trade, I didn't. Once price started moving, I said if you were in this trade, move your stop loss to break even so you can bank some profits. And then after that, TP was smashed. So I did put this live in my channel for everyone to see before the trade actually happened, just so you guys know that I'm actually actively looking at the charts, and I do also trade these myself. So this was a very good example of the ICT silver bullet strategy. So now let's go back and again take a look at the Judas swing strategy that happened this morning on GU, because this was absolutely beautiful. So as always, with the Judas swing, the first thing that we have to do is identify our higher time frame narrative. So on GU, the way I was anticipating price is that we've got right here our lower low, lower high, and our lower low right there. So our trading range is in between this high and this low, right? So anything that happens in between, as we're all aware, is just complex structure. So let me quickly mark this out. So this was our high and this was our low. So anything in between this is complex structure. When we're inside complex structure like this, we can look for buys or sells. It doesn't really matter because we're still waiting for a trend to be shown. Right now, we're just trading in the middle, not really doing anything. So who knows if it's going to go up, down, left, right, or come out your screen, right? We don't know what's going to happen. So we're now just waiting for whatever price shows us, and that's how we're going to react. Okay? So if we take a look, price came up and took out the buy side liquidity right there. So we marked out our Asia highs and our lows, and once we've marked that out, we drop down to the 1 minute and we can see that we've had a sweep of the Asia high right here. And now this market structure was so clean that this trade was just amazing, right? So we've got our higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, failure to create a higher high with a break of this higher low, giving us a lower low. Now we're anticipating a lower high before a continuation to the downside, right? So let me quickly hide this again just so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. Oh, right, there we go. So we've got our higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, failure to create another higher high, a lower low, coming back up for a lower high before a continuation to the downside, right? So let me bring the chart back in and let's see how price actually reacts, because this is what we want price to do. So as we can see, price comes back, taps us in, nearly takes us out, and continues to the downside, right? Let me get rid of all of this on the screen. Should have done this before. Here we go. Cool. So we've been tapped in, we've nearly been taken out, but we're holding the trade strong, right? We're holding it steady. This was quite a long trade. It was held for pretty much the majority of the day. Nearly hits our take profit, doesn't want to, faffs around for a little bit, and inevitably goes and hits our take profit, right? So again, this was a trade that I posted in my channel this morning, completely free. And I said, if you took this trade, please move your stops into profit. And inevitably, the trade did go and hit take profit. And I did post all of my profits in my channel. So this was another free trade given in my channel for completely free. So if you guys do want access to trades like this for free and some great knowledge that I drop in my Telegram channel, please go down into the description, hit the link to join my Telegram. It is free. You can join, you can see me trade every single day. I do also post things like my broker recommendations and everything like that in the trade, in the Telegram. So feel free to join that, guys. But to end the video off, let me quickly jump onto NAS because there was a nice silver bullet setup that is currently in play at the moment. And this is currently getting traded, so I won't break it down just yet because this trade is still active. I am holding it as we speak, so what I'll do is I'll make a video of this once this trade closes, because this is a slightly different strategy to the one that I have been speaking of. It is just a little bit different, still the same nonetheless. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video and managed to get some good information out of this. If you did enjoy it, please feel free to hit the like button, drop me a nice comment, hit the subscribe, and share it with somebody who you think will benefit from this knowledge. And on that note, guys, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.